actually,
the
yeah, I
record
paused the
button.
stream so I didn't hear myself 3 times.
Fair enough. Well, welcome. Can I just call you Strife?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so helpful. Strife, welcome to the first Deck Doctor we're doing today. Midoriya 2, one of my absolute favorite characters from the show. An aggro monster. Hit me with the pitch of your super cool, good symboled Midoriya 2 deck while I go and find some cards.
So the basic idea and the thing I love about Izuku is that you just get to, if you do it properly, dump your hand into your attacks in a way that your opponent can't mess with any of them. Between One with Nature and just the speed boost he has himself, if you can put the cards in the right spots, it's 3 or 4 attacks that your opponent can't block or doesn't want to block, and they're dead. Uh, on that note, like Valiant Assault, draw cards, Tetsu Thrashing, I've loved because one can mean that you have 4 different attacks to go in on.
Yeah.
They're great to discard and review early on, and then you draw another Thrashing, and you've got the first one to pick up, just waiting there for you. Back Alley is just a staple. You're not going to not run 4 Back Alley Haymakers when you can in a punch deck. I've been really impressed with Setup Strike and making a follow-up attack just really good. Wind-Up Punch has been a favorite. I'm currently playing 2 Texas over 2 Harden Jab, but I do like Harden Jab in the list. It's more a matter of room.
So you're not playing Harden Jab at the moment? You're playing Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
A couple of Texas. I'm kind of like back and forth on them at any given time, because on the one hand, Harden Jab picks up an extra card for you to discard for more Deku activations. But on the other hand, Texas can really dump your hand, so you're taking better advantage of passing the torch and 5% on a different sort of combo string. So I'm always waffling over which direction to go, and I don't feel like I have enough room for both.
Fair.
Go for the win because we don't get access to Ready Set Go or seizing, so I like that as a bit of catch up, and the extra speed can be pivotal in getting that right attack through. Capture Evildoers, steals momentum and clears your card pool. It's just a good Swiss Army knife of an action. And that's where I'm at on the attack lineup in that. The foundations, One with Nature, it just combos so well with your character on top of being a top tier, like one of the few. You're talking about 2 diffs with text or dead. I think One with Nature is one of the most powerful 2 diff foundations you can run. So I think it comes up above the top of that. Any Means Necessary isn't really a foundation. It's just free discard fodder. New Training Method builds out those like bad 3 diffs like Pull No Punches easier than actually paying for them. And it just makes your turn 1 build so much simpler because you get that free build you don't have to check for. Lost in Thought I've been really high on as a way to get past those icky like spooky or whatever.
Yeah.
Those pivotal defensive foundations they have. You lead with Haymaker and you make them pick up spooky or that specialist to sound if they didn't want to use it on this attack. And they're just like, well, what do I do now? And High Value Target, I'm iffy on. Like, it's the only foundation defense that unless I'm missing something that good really has, and it only saves against Destroy, but it's better than nothing when you need One with Nature to, like, the games you don't have One with Nature and the games you do are 2 different games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So anything to save One with Nature, also just being able to block a bit better. I found that it pulled its weight, though I'd be going to, like, down to a 3 of on that.
One in Nature?
But no, High Value Target.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's no way to cut One in Nature. That card's insane.
No.
That card should be banned.
Insane.
Actually, that's a lie. This card should have Unique on it. I think that's how you fix the card.
I think it'd be fair with Unique.
But
And
Yeah.
then yeah, like
So
I'm on either end of the male bonding, manly passionate guy problem, right? Like, do you take the hit or do you hold the foundation to build it and save yourself the damage? You kind of have to go one way or the other because they don't play nicely together in that way,
right.
right? Like, you either, if you have both, you kind of like, which one do I want to go in on with your hand?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. So what do you need my help with?
uh, I want to go to like I'm gonna start going to provisionals. There's a lot of them in my area, so I want to see if I can take one down, and that means I want like a real professional opinion on the attack lineup, on foundations I might be missing. There were a couple of like new All Might punches, like Carolina Smash, and you see I've got Vanquishing Punch in the sideboard as like momentum hate. Uh, Probably not the most efficient momentum hate option, but stapling it to a 6 speed 6 doesn't seem bad.
Yeah.
If you can get them on 8.
7 speed
Uh,
9 in your character, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know Carolina Smash unflips foundations, which can be useful for like taking second advantage of a male bonding or a destined for mainstream success. So that sounded like a possibility. Unflip a new training method, pick up more foundations to throw at my opponent as 1 speed 3s.
Yeah.
Just the little things I might not be thinking of.
Yeah. All right. Easy enough. I got a couple cards for our sideboard. Okay. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch you on just like a bunch of ideas, a bunch of things. I just had I think I might have found my new fun deck in Midoriya, good symboled Midoriya 2, because I don't know why my brain said that thrashing and capture evildoers didn't work together, but they 100% do. You can thrashing, pick up your third thrashing, capture evildoers, thrashing, pick up your third one, capture evildoers, thrashing. And so, like, for every capture evildoers that you're able, and a momentum that you have, you can pick up 2 thrashings.
And especially when you build attacks like or just non-foundations, if you manage to get lucky like that, like on the one hand you're not drawing an attack, but on the other hand, the string keeps going because you've got an even easier check. Like you've built the +1 that you're gonna go up on progressive.
Yeah, that I'm flabbergasted, and I want to stop talking to you and play this deck. I'm gonna be stun locked for the next like 6 hours just thinking about Tetsu thrashing, capture evildoers, and all the shenanigans I can do there. Okay. All right, let's get to it. So, Final Smash. This card's insane. 6 high for 9 in your character. Add a card from discard pile at the top of your deck. Insane to redraw with enemies necessary. Insane to draw with Pass into Torch. Insane to draw with Destined. Absolutely nuts interaction on the good symbol. Crazy. Not that great when it's early, but super good when it's later, right? I like this card a lot. You said we were playing Texas Smash.
I've got a couple of Smash.
My personal opinion, I don't like Texas Smash and Midoriya, but the last Midoriya that I played was a 54 card, 4 copies of Tetsu Thrashing, 4 copies of Relentless Barrage, and so like I was trying to string out as long as I could, and like Texas Smash is like this tall card as opposed to like this long string type thing. Hardened Chop is insane in our character. It's a 5 low for 8 all by its lonesome, that if they block, they discard a bonus card, which means that I could just start slamming more damage on stuff. Those are really the only attacks that I found that you were quote missing. I like a lot of what you got going on. I'm not a huge fan of Wind Up Punch, but I get why it's there, right? It's a 4 diff, 4 mid for 6 sometimes. 4 diff, 5 mid for 9 with stun, or sorry, 5 mid for 10 with stun 2. So, like, it feels very good in Midoriya too. So, like, I get it. I have not enjoyed it, but I get it.
Stun can be really efficient, like going from, like, it's more haymakers, right?
It's just more haymakers. Yeah. So I 100% playing 6 haymakers. I totally get it. I also haven't played Midoriya not on the earth symbol. So, like, this was never even an option for me to even, like, attempt to put in a deck. This is my first time, like, thinking about it, you know?
Also, powerful has been relevant more often than I thought it would be.
Sure. That's totally fair.
You can just straight up finish them if you can string, like, a haymaker into a setup into a wind-up punch.
I'm going to do everything that I can, everything in my power, to have you play 4 jab.
Okay.
There's going to be, we're going to have a debate here about jab versus Valiant Assault. Cards on board are worth 3 times cards in hand. This card says that you get both. This card that says that you get to draw 2. Very good at fueling what Midoriya does. Incredible. It's almost, they feel incredible. It's why he's got his big dumb face on it. Having a re-readied face down foundation, or even building in a foundation on turn 1, is unbelievably more valuable than drawing 2 cards, especially because we're running a 2-check.
No, I'm here for it going down on Valiant, like maybe down to 2, or I don't think it's a cut, but I can see it not being a 4 of.
Completely agree. I want to actually just swap these numbers and then see if you miss Valiant. If you're like, man, I never see Valiant anymore, we can maybe go like 3 and 3 and see what happens, right? But you building a card is going to be way better, especially when you build a card off of Thrashing. You're going to build a jab off of Thrashing, draw a jab on your next turn, and go jab, pick up, jab, jab. And even if you don't pump it, that's just 10 damage you're just lobbing at them. Sometimes 16 damage you're lobbing at them, and then play the rest of your Thrashings and pop off.
A little happier. What if you build a Capture Evildoers instead, and then pick that up and go off?
You're getting me too excited. I love Heroic Strike, and I like Heroic Strike more than I like Wind Up Punch because I don't have to discard the card in order to make it work. This card is always a 4 diff. The thing is, this card doesn't hit as hard. It also doesn't cover our low block zone, right? And so, like, where I look at Wind Up Punch and go, hell yeah, that's stun 2. I look at Heroic Strike and go, hell yeah, that's stun X. And it's not even canceled by the stun keyword. So, like, if they have things like resistance, right? I'm not stunning them. They're just committing those cards.
Definitely.
I think Setup Strike is incredible on the back of something like a Wind Up Punch, like this idea of like a Texas Smash style go really tall deck. Of like, this thing has an unbelievable amount of speed, this thing has an unbelievable amount of damage. Take this one move. But Thrashing is a string card where I want to play more and more and more, right? And so my thought here is that, like, is Setup Strike worth it when we just have One with Nature doing that job, right? We have One with Nature and /or there are other foundations like this really cool 1 diff that just says +1, +2 whenever you want. It can just sit in your stage and wait and be like, oh, this is the one that I need to put +2 speed on, as opposed to I only get the +3 when I have the setup, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, these are just choices that we get to make. This if they ban Ojiro, I'm just a Midoriya 2 main for the rest of my life. So, my last card is Full Cowling. Man, Full Cowling is a really cool low block, and I think that's really kind of all it's got going for it. Because of the fact that we are picking up Thrashing and we're drawing with Valiant Assault and we're drawing off of Passing the Torch and we're probably drawing off of Destined and one Any Means Necessary, I think it's really hard to have a dead hand. I think it's actually incredibly tough to have a dead hand. We can draw off of Back Alley Haymaker. Like, we can add attacks with Jab. I think Full Cowling is just quote-unquote power crept by Valiant Assault. I think this might just be a Midoriya 1 card now because we have access to Valiant. I think we should just try and look for a different low block, which I can go and search for real quick. Attack, punch, low block. Smashing Nomu is not a bad one. I don't like Forceful Blow. Leaping Right Hook is a great card. Velocity Punch is gonna go in my meme deck. And so like we have these ones that is like, this is a 5 low for 6 with stun 1, maybe stun 2 on a 4 diff with a 2 low block. That's insane. Leaping Right Hook is a 5 high for 5, right? Goes down by 2, up by 3. Yeah, so 5 high for 5 that draws you a card on a 2 low block. Velocity Punch steals a momentum so that we can capture evildoers, do silly things. Like I think that Full Cowling being a 5 diff wanted to be quote played late is just not as good as what Valiant Assault is doing for you as a 4 diff, right? Wanting to be played late, you know?
I'll put out the pitch for 5%, partly because I traded real hard for the copy. But
that's fair. And there are other characters that want to play this card, right? Like there's like Fourth Kind that wants to play this card under order. Midoriya 1 still wants to play this at the 2 of. My thing is I just don't think Midoriya 2 does, you know?
Yeah. I can see like the fact that Valiant Assault works anywhere in your string, whereas you really want Full Cowling to be the last card in your hand so you play it and draw back up.
Or like you discard any number of any means necessaries in order to make it happen. Like this card's really good. This card's really, really good when it's the only attack you drew, right? Man, I had this Full Cowling. I will discard my hand, draw 3. I had a single any means necessary, so I'll draw a 4th one and then figure out what the heck I'm going to do. If that happens, that is a bad draw. And so I don't know like that is worst case scenario for your 6 hand size aggro character that's trying to string out as many thrashing as possible, right? Like I have 1 Full Cowling and a Tetsu thrashing. I'm just gonna play as many thrashings as I can. I don't even think about Full Cowling. Not on my mind. You know?
Fair enough.
At the same time, this is your deck. So, is there anything attack-wise here that you are a fan of, that you're like, I think this is a cool thing that even you want to just test or try, and we can build some cool stuff around that idea, you know?
The better when you have 8 cards, you don't want to run too many of them, because your opponent doesn't always get to 8, and when they see them game 1, they might stop at 7 just to really stymie you a little bit.
Sure.
I know I had an eraser head-to-head who did that one turn. They just didn't go to 8 foundations, held up some blocks, and wanted to get me there because they knew that wind-up punch was a big part of my game plan, and making it easier for me to check was not what they wanted to do. So I do think that if I went out of wind-up punch, I would go into Final Smash, or one of those other cards that gets better on 8, like Vanquishing Punch. But I think Final Smash is definitely the one to go into if I went out of Wind-Up Punch.
I agree. At the same time, right? Early, I'm forced to play Final Smash. I play it on a 6. I check a 2. That feels bad. So like I totally get like leaving it on the table. This might be really good if you wanted to do your Texas Smash idea of like, I'm gonna play this really tall move, and so like I Final Smash, I go find the setup strike because I have the Texas, or I have the setup strike, I find Texas, right? Like I go find the piece that I want, and so like my Texas is gonna be like an 8 high for 14 is like the idea. But like in this world, like maybe we don't need this card, and maybe just that the stun 2s are just better, you know?
I think I'm seeing a divide in my plan that you're kind of picking at this knot. And it's that Tetsu Thrashing wants me to chain long.
Yeah.
Whereas and Hardened Jab wants me to chain long. But like a Texas Smash plan would want me to dump my hand real fast into like 2 or 3 very powerful attacks.
Correct.
And mashing those 2 plans together is just going to dilute them both.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that just means like you now get to make the choice, right? You could figure out like you have with this idea, and this is definitely I'm gonna do my best to make a Tam talk on this because of how cool set 4 is. Because we have enough cards and how open our game is, with just the punch package, you now have 3 different decks with Midoriya 2 that you can make. You have this idea of a go wide strategy. You have this idea of a go tall strategy with these big powerful Texas Smash type things, or you could try to find this like hybrid variation that you've got going on, right? If you're gonna do the hybrid, I don't think that you play Thrashing. I think that you play things like Hardened Chop instead because it's not a 2-check, right? But like this card gets to already rebuild you a card and like says that your punch doesn't work, and like you could build a face down so that you can pick it up with jab. Like there's still value to it. But if you want to, like, I'm focusing on stringing long, you should tailor your deck. I want to focus on stringing tall, I should tailor my deck. I want to make this hybrid, I should tailor my deck. And so that's where like you just get to make the choice, you know?
I think I want to go towards the tall plan.
Okay.
I'm a fan of that.
Okay. So the next...
Because I've had...
Go ahead.
A lot of my success has been not on just like chaining Thrashings at them. I think that's... I don't think Capture Evildoers can really pop into it because it's only on good, and it's not on Earth, right?
No,
Earth can't have everything. Because like I just think of Relentless Barrage plus Tetsu Thrashing just having a million attacks was actually my first iteration of this before I had more of the good cards.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do... I liked good. I liked like cards like Setup Strike and Heroic Strike and Wind Up Punch. So I wanted to go over to good, and I think good is actually going to do better on the kind of just chucking your hand into the right spots, like I was saying earlier, and just making 2 or 3 annihilating attacks that your opponent can't interact with. Yeah. Because one with nature is just going to mess, even if they slow it down, you can't fix your blocks up. You can't fix your block modifier. Yeah. Plus Ultra won't save you from your own block modifier.
True.
And a lot of my success came from just managing to string like back alley into a setup or a wind up into or a Texas into a one for all that gave me even more fuel to discard more things at the one for all to make it the final just overwhelming strike, or the wind up punch was the overwhelming strike.
Yeah.
That did it in because Powerful was so good.
Then let's do that. Nice and easy. So I'm just gonna rip your deck apart. We're gonna take out the 4 Thrashings. They're gone. We're gonna take the wind up punch. We're gonna put it at a 4 of because it's 8 copies of Back Alley Haymaker. We're gonna take full cowling. It's gone. We're gonna take Texas and we're gonna put it at a 4 of. This is technically this is 23 cards. We could cut this down a little bit. We could take Setup Strike and put it down to a 2 of. We already have that, essentially this card on One with Nature. This is a list. Let's look at our block zones real fast. We got a lot of highs, but that's like Valiant Assault's fault. We could maybe cut some jabs. We could do, watch this. We do 2 jabs, and then I want you to try, where are you at? Smashing Nomu in this deck. This card is also kind of a stun 2 because of its wording, right? So it's a 4 low for 3, stun 1, that if it deals damage, they commit a foundation. So it's like a delayed stun 2, right? So like going back alley into Smashing Nomu or wind up punch into Smashing Nomu is your stun 2, and then you set up strike for stun 3. From there, if you have the foundations, everything that you throw is just going to touch them. It's just going to hit now, especially if you've got One in Nature, you know?
So I'll try it.
Yeah, and this is like we've got our 6 low blocks here to like cover some more stuff. The other option is instead of Smashing Nomu, we play something along the lines of Leaping Right Hook, just because it's a 5 high for 5 that draws you a card. So like it could be
towards the string plan though.
So it draws you a card to give you the +3 damage on the next move or discard with Texas, and it is big, right? So like imagine it could be the second move. It could be the second move with sorry, Volky, you're right. 6 high for 5. It could be the second move after the Texas, right? I go play an attack Texas into leaping right hook, and then it gets +2 speed -2 damage, right? And so then it's a 3 5 high for 6 because it had +4 -2. Then you discard for the +3, so it's a 6 high for 9 that draws you another card. It could be another thing. It could be a capture evildoers to clear your card pool to keep going. Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying?
Deadlock pressure too.
I
don't think I'm really packing any of that.
Yeah. So like the question is, so now the question: smashing Nomu or leaping right hook.
I think I'll just keep them side by side. We'll stay with smashing Nomu for now, and I'll see how it tests.
I love it. I love it. That's the right answer. So from here, we now get to go down to our actions. I don't think there's anything in here that I put into your deck action-wise. I like Go for the Win. I like Capture Evildoers. Go for the Win definitely feels a little more stringy and feels ultra powerful with Hardened Jab. Oh, it's so good with Hardened Jab. But at the same time, if you have the card, it could be just like when they're at lethal, you just respond and give your thing +2 speed, then pass your enhanced step, and then just make it happen. Also solid 1 low block. The question is this card better than is this card better consistency-wise than note-taking? There's the question, right? 1/5, that's a foundation that says that my punch gets +2 speed on a 2 low block, or it's a 2/5. I have to hold this card in my hand. It's a 1 low block. I have to check this. If this is the 6th card of my card pool, it's on a 7 or something like that, right? Like so, like I commit cards in order to make it happen. There's the question, right? Is this Go for the Win actually worth it? If you feel like Go for the Win is not quite getting you there in this new lineup, I think I would just instantly swap it for note taking. Instantly. From here, I'm going to pitch you on all of the foundations that I have put inside of your deck.
I am down for most of the things you're going to pitch me. The foundation lineup is the thing I am least sure about, because everything is one of those things where everything sounds good somewhere. What should I actually pick?
Yeah. Okay. So with that statement, do you want me just to slam some stuff in your deck and be like, hey, is this okay? Or do you want me to like give you the reasonings behind it? I'm down for either.
I guess first, do you have anything you'd say about the current foundation lineup aside from the lack of zeros? Because there is a lack of zeros compared to what should be there.
I am so cold on Manly Passionate Guy, especially in a deck like this where building is king.
I cut it then.
That the mentality,
I'm with you on it.
Yeah, I think the mentality of Manly Passionate Guy is just poor.
I was already halfway there, and the fact that you're cold on it, get it out of here.
Yeah, we're going to do this, or we're going to toss this up to a 4 of, because it says attacking enemy is bad. Love Lost in Thought. I like high value target, but this is certainly a defense card, and I'm just trying to kill people. I just want them dead. So we could do this, and this is just like a better kill you card, with the same difficulty rating, right?
Yeah.
Pull no punches is great. I would play it at a 4 of, but I'm also gonna do. I seriously cannot get over this capture evildoers tattoo thrashing idea. It's I am so excited. And you play 4 of that in this. Love New Training Method. This card is very good. The big thing about New Training Method is what is the best card you have to pick up, and the answer is One with Nature, right? Like One with Nature is what takes your deck from good to great. And so the fact that like for all my people out there who are watching, Capture Evildoer, or sorry, New Training Method is very good at building, but the second response is also cracked. If you don't have a good thing, a good foundation, a good target to pick up, then maybe leave it on the table, cut it down a bit. You want to see One of Nature, you got to see it. So like having it in the deck is not bad.
Like at a pinch, you could pick up an any means necessary because that's easy to discard to draw anything else.
Sure. Yeah, you could certainly do that.
So like if you're fishing for an attack, it's not the worst thing to pick up.
Yeah. All in all, if this was just the foundation lineup, I had no complaints really. Right? Like there's a couple things that I like inside of this lineup that are good. Like I think that Your Finished is incredible. This card is absolutely fantastic. One of the best cards to come out of the new structure deck. 0/5/3 low block accidentally draws you cards, as well as its deadlock, enhance, commit one rival foundation. Insane. It's very, very good on a 1/5. Cool ideas like public support is actually +2/+4 on your discard cards. The only issue is it's a 4-check. Determined says that blocking with things like passing the torch is free. I think blocking with things like high value target. It says that any mean necessary has a block, right? Because the block mod just becomes 0 on a 2/6. So like that might just like have you ever been forced to block with any means necessary? It sucks. It's
Sure.
It
can use Izuku to buff their attack, right? Like you can still use the enhance.
Yeah, you can still use the enhance to discard then redraw, but what happens if you draw an off zone?
Yeah, no, like it's not great, but I think I've done that at least more than I've blocked with it for sure.
Sure.
I've never blocked with +5 mid.
Yeah, Determined says it is not. It's a 0 mid. That feels great. That feels super, super good. Advice for winners, insane for the string deck, not necessarily for yours. To the Rescue is a response version of Lost in Thought. You just seal the card, but Lost in Thought lets you go even. Advice for Winners does not, but Advice for Winners, or not Advice for Winners, I'm so sorry. To the Rescue. To the Rescue also has this really cool defensive ability of like, I block with a thing, this card doesn't count as progressive as I continue the rest of my turn. So all their moves get essentially -1 speed. Note taking, I can't be more high on. I think this card is absolutely cracked in your character. It says that one of your attacks, essentially once per game, a move gets 3/3, which is like Ojiro stats. That's great. I would instantly swap your note takings for high value targets instantly, because I don't think this character needs very much defense in order to play his game. Just build and then like block well, because like you've got 1 highs, 1 lows, 2 mids, 1 mid, 1 low, 1 mid, 1 high, 2 low. Like your block zones are actually kind of cracked, and so like you don't need this +2 to your check to block. This counts as 2 foundations. Your dude just builds. He builds cards. Loves building cards. You know.
Old. High value's never really overperformed, and I'm sure now that we're going more towards like 3 punches, you should be dead by now.
Yeah.
The extra speed makes sure those punches land.
I'm in. Here's a question that I haven't asked yet, and it's important. What's this number look like?
I think we're at a good spot right now, around that 66 mark.
Yeah.
We're trying to find certain attacks and make them land. It's not a recovery girl hodgepodge special or a 50 card super tight combo.
Is there anything over here we're leaving on the table?
I want to fit a 0 in. Another 0. I want at least like 6 zeros. Because the only 0 I have right now can't be fixed.
Yeah, we should just take out Go for the Win and just put in these, You're Finished. It's just going to be better for you, I promise.
Alright.
Yeah. We're going to increase your deck by 1.
Oh no.
Yeah. 66 with 22 attacks. That's book. Draw a card, draw a card, draw a card. Draw a card, draw a card. Draw a card. Draw a card. Yeah, we're fine. We'll find them. 22, 21, 25. What can I do? Bonding, You're Finished. If I had to cut one of these, I don't know. You're playing a Holiday. I mean, One of Nature's note taking just says that your moves hit. They'll just always hit. Yeah, and I think that you'll use your finished more because you want to draw cards than you will for Battle Resolve, because committing 2 copy, like the enhance sucks and the response sucks. It's a 3 mid block. I think this is probably just the list.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. All right, I feel good about it.
Any thoughts about? I'm not sure if this is within your purview of this, but like a sideboard plan, or is that something you'd have to talk about later?
So I don't normally do sideboards on these, just because of like the idea of these deck doctors are to give you a starting point for you to go and explore. I don't know what your locals looks like. I don't know what decks are you afraid of with this. I don't like there's it is the 10 cards in your sideboard is like, I think like a really, really big question that I just don't, I can't do on deck doctors. Yeah. Here's what I'll say. If you want me to come next month and you bring me a Midoriya list and say, I'm not touching the main board, let's talk about the 10 cards in the sideboard, I'm down. Right? And I won't touch any of these cards up here, and we'll just figure out 10 cards in the side. I'm super, super in. But it's just also a really big conversation, because like we have to talk about like, what are you afraid of? What have you played against? What does your deck want to fight? What does it not want to fight? What are the holes in your deck? Like
it does give me time to play the list too and see what's actually beating me up.
Yeah.
And we can. No, I would love to come back next month and go back over some more of this.
I love it.
All right.
Absolutely love it. Hey, thank you for inspiring me for this Tetsu Thrashing Capture Evildoers list. It might be all I think about for the next 6 days.
All right. Well, if you see it on a video, just say thank you, Strife.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you this list, and you have a good turn out, okay?
All right. Thank you. You too.
Thank you.